Hey, preacher here. Got just one verse I want to read to you tonight. Um, Somebody told me I got a little long-winded Tuesday, and so went bike riding, motorcycle riding with Charlie and Mike. And whenever you ride motorcycles with Mike, I'll blame it on Mike. We get lost. The GPS says, whenever possible, make a U-turn. And it kept saying it. And it kept saying it. And I'll have the video hooked on here so you can watch how lost we was. But Charlie went with us. Charlie Washburn. He followed Mike. I'm listening to the NASCAR race, by the way. I'll turn it down. He followed Mike. I followed Charlie. And we went round and round and realized we was lost. But here's the thing. I want to talk about the following part for just a second. Romans 12, 1, 2 says this. I want to read this to you. And I'll shut up and won't be long-winded tonight. It says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. That's how we're to present our bodies. We're to live like, walk like, act like, look like Jesus. That's what we're supposed to do. And then it says, which is your reasonable service. So first of all, you ain't going above and beyond what God's called you to do. You're doing what God's called you to do. And yes, my nose got sunburnt, so, well, that's just how it is. It's because of Mike. And then verse 2 says this, and this is what I want to look at, and just, do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may prove what is the will of God, and what is good and acceptable and perfect. First of all, I support the police. Get that out of the way. I support the police. We need the cops. And so those crazy people out there that blocking off blocks and policing themselves, and they ain't got a clue. Those people kicking into buildings and protesting because they're kicking into buildings, they ain't got a clue. The ones that's protesting because they want to be equal with everybody else, protest. Do it. You deserve that equality, nothing less. In the eyes of God, we're all equal. And the Bible says, do not be conformed to this world. Don't be worldly. If you're a Christian, first of all, we're not allowed to be attached to the world. That's where it's not an option. Do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. How you going to renew your mind? Read this. The more you put in here, the less you'll act like the world. And the more godly stuff you put in here, the more worldly stuff you push out here. A hard lesson to learn, but I've learned it. Still learning. But you watch this video of us being lost. 11 miles to this town we was headed to. We went 36 miles or something to get there. We rode so far that we came back around all the way to where we started and didn't know it till we seen 2 tractors alongside of the road. We was following one another, first of all, not knowing what the other one was doing. I always follow Mike wherever we go. I always, where are you going to go, dude? I'll follow you. No problem. And so he takes off, and so We've been looking at maps, and finally the GPS says, whenever possible, make a U-turn. And maybe you're listening tonight. Maybe you're saved, because I talk about the lost a lot and getting saved. Maybe you're saved. GPS is saying whenever possible, make a U-turn. What better time than today, this evening even, to make that U-turn? You see, I got chicken on the grill, made me a peach cobbler, go and watch a race. So I'm not going to keep you. But whenever possible, GPS, make a U-turn. And maybe you need to make a U-turn tonight. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're saved. And do not be conformed to this world. Maybe that's you. You're hooked to the world. Attached at the hips, what my parents used to say. It ought not be that way. I struggle. I work on it. But just to be conformed to means that you just really don't care and just as soon walk with the world as with the Lord. And that's not good. That's not right. And so the GPS says, make a U-turn. So that's it tonight. That's it. You get up tomorrow morning, go to church someplace. If you ain't been in a while, just get up, go. Come to Macedonia Baptist Church. We'd be love to have you. We'd be social distancing and all that stuff, and we still got room. But make that U-turn. God bless. Love you. I'll see you soon.